Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Lindsay, otherwise known as @LMW2491 over on the Poshmark app. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my interesting sales over the past 2 months. If you're somebody who is subscribed to my channel who specifically really likes seeing my high-end profit reports at the end of the month, I do apologize to you because I realize I haven't put one out for September yet. Part of what I'm going to be talking about today is going to shed some light on that, but also I wanted to let you know that I'm going to do a profit report for the month of September and October combined, and you'll see why in just a second. So here we go. All right, so the weird trend that's been happening with me lately is that looking at my numbers, I've realized that I've had quite a few more $0 days than I have historically. So what I like to do on my end of things for data and just record keeping is I like to use Google Docs sheets to keep track of what items sold for how much, and then also what profit I make on those items, and I do this by day. So if there's 30 days in the month, I will track those 30 days and how much per day that I earned. And I realized starting last month in September that I was hitting quite a few $0 days, even though I felt like I was working pretty hard and trying to keep up with the 30-minute method and listing and things like that. So I found it really frustrating, and I was absolutely what I consider to be in a sales slump. But the thing is that when I look at my numbers right here and right now, I'm just looking at them on my computer, I hit my monthly goal. I actually surpassed my monthly goal for the month of September, even though I had $0 days. And a lot of them, I had 10 $0 days in September, which is crazy, but I still hit my goal. So I wanted to say that for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that if you're having $0 days and you're feeling distraught or discouraged, don't. As hard as that is to say, I know it's kind of a crappy feeling when you work super hard throughout the day to source and to list and to communicate with your potential buyers and you don't see any reward at the end. I get that that's frustrating, but honestly, the numbers and the data show that you don't necessarily need to be making a sale every day or even multiple sales a day to hit any sort of goal. As long as you're being consistent with the back end work and you're making sure that you're sourcing and you're listing and you're communicating and you're sharing and you're following and you're doing that stuff consistently, weekly and monthly, the sales will eventually roll in. Also, what I'm looking at right here for my September data specifically is that the reason that I hit my goals is because of all that back-end work I put in on my $0 days. I didn't let myself get discouraged. I didn't sit on the couch and do nothing. I was listing, I was working, I was accepting that I was having a $0 day, but that encouraged me to work twice as hard, and that shows right here because I went from the 11th of September, which was a $0 day for me, to the 12th of September, where I earned $171.50. So that's a lot to earn in one day. And if you figure, okay, well, what's my average? My average currently is about $48 to $50 a day. That one day took care of 3 $0 days for me, if you want to like divide the numbers out that way. So mathematically, it still makes sense that I reached my goal. So my message to you is try to use those $0 days to your advantage and use them to do double the work you normally would, so that on a day that's upcoming where you are making sales, you have more listings in your closet ready to go and you're just feeling a little bit more confident that you have front-loaded the work that way, okay? All right, so that was kind of my $0 days in September, which brings me to my $0 days for this month. I'm all about transparency. I'm all about honesty. Let me share with you my little data pieces here. All right, so for this month, it started slow. It was rough. Being from Wisconsin, I love selling and wearing fall attire, as you can tell by my little checkered thing here. I don't even know what to call this. It's really cute. I found this at the bins, guys. But anyway, so I love picking up sweaters and boots and things to sell in the fall, and so fall season is one of my favorites, not just because I like selling the pieces, but because I'm finding a lot of it being from Wisconsin. In our thrift stores, we have a ton of sweaters, a ton of boots, which is awesome. So I've been picking those up and I've been really excited to list them, but October has been so slow for me and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I keep thrifting and I keep sourcing and listing boots and sweaters and things that are seasonal, and that's what you would expect would sell right now. Yet this month, and I realize the month's not over yet, but I already have 7 $0 days. I have a week's worth of $0 days already. So this month was very, very slow for me. But the thing about that again is that my data shows that other days where I am making sales are making up for my $0 days. So again, I have the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th of this month, I made $0 for 3 days consecutively. Such a bummer. But then that was followed up by a $126 day. So again, it kind of evens out at the end, just based on how much my average sale margin is per day. All right, so what do you focus on when you do see that you're having a lot of $0 days? You know darn well that you're putting in the work to get paid, to make sales, but you're just not seeing anything. What should your focus become? It's all about mindset. It's about growth mindset and making sure that you are always challenging yourself to do more and to encourage yourself to reach a higher expectation than you were able to put out last time. So I have 3 tips, 3 things that I keep in mind when I have these $0 days that still allow me to, at the end of the month, to see the daily profits that I want and the monthly profits that I want. So my first thing is to reach out to and communicate frequently with your repeat buyers. Your repeat buyers are a centerpiece, I think, for your success. Now, I have a couple repeat buyers in my closet, and I've been up and running for 3.5 years now, almost actually going on 4 pretty soon in January. 4 years on Poshmark, and over the span of time, I've accumulated 150,000 followers on my page, which is a lot. But really, the reality of my repeat buyers is that I don't have many. I have 2. I have very slim repeat buyers. But what I do with them is I am communicating with those buyers weekly. I know what they want at this point. I know what their sizes are. I know what styles they like. So even when I'm sourcing, I have them in mind. And I think to myself, you know, would my repeat buyer enjoy this piece? What's the best deal I could give them on this piece if I really wanted to make a quick flip? And I have those buyers in mind specifically, not just when I'm sourcing, but also when I'm on the app. So I'll take notice of when they're maybe putting a bundle together, or I'll take notice of the times that they're going through my closet and liking my new listings. Those are the times that I'll wait 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'll reach out to them in the little comment feature that's now included under the bundles. And just say, hey, how's your week going? Hope everything's good, you know, and then encourage them to ask any questions that they have about the new items that they've been liking. I find that having that open communication with your repeat, well, any buyer really, but your repeat buyers, because you know that they trust the quality of your goods that you're sending them, that's a really important, critical piece to have when you're considering your monthly income. And realizing too, like if you do any sort of data breakdown, realizing how much, like what percentage of your total monthly sales are coming from that repeat buyer. And then knowing that percent, striving to hit that percent the next month and the next month by doing things like price dropping on items that they've liked, or listing something, notifying them in the comments, and having it listed pretty low already, just to encourage a quick flip and a quick buy, even if it's not a bundle. All right, so that's the first thing, is keep your repeat buyers by communicating with them frequently and sourcing specifically with them in mind. The second thing to do if you're hitting a lot of $0 days is to make sure that you're buying low. So like my Salvation Army, for example, sells things to me way cheaper than any of the Goodwills around my area would ever. So I really like sourcing at Salvation Army because I can get things there for like $1 to $3.50 average, where at my Goodwills, the average amount spent per item, unfortunately, still is like $5. So realizing that that margin actually adds up over time, and especially in a closet that has over like 200 pieces, to realize how much extra money you're spending just to source the inventory to get it to your house. There's a lot that goes into that. So profit-wise, it's really important to remember to buy low and to focus on the stores and the sales that will sell you pieces for a lower cost. Ultimately, when you're hitting these $0 days, what I like to focus on is getting my cost of goods down. It never helps at the end of the month when I have to go back through and see that, oh shoot, I spent $9 on that dress and I only profited, or I only made $16 on it, right? You don't really want those sales that are less than a $10 flip, in my opinion. So keeping in mind that you should be focusing on buying low and keeping your cost of goods down during your sales slumps or your $0, months or weeks or whatever it is, that's another really big thing to consider. So buying low and keeping your cost of goods down is a super critical piece to consider when you're having a few $0 days. All right, the last thing that I have for you is like I said before, it's all about mindset. So not get discouraged, but then with that, when you have a $0 day, or let's say it's like noon and you've made 0 sales, or it's 5 o'clock and you've made 0 sales, but you know that you're putting the work in, right? And so you're getting frustrated and you're getting antsy and anxious about making a sale. What I would do if I were you, when you realize that this could potentially be a $0 day, is say, okay, that's fine. That's the first step. And then the second step, say, all right, I'm going to double my work today. So for me, what that looks like is, generally speaking, I like to list 3 to 5 items a day. If I realize that I'm having a $0 day, or that chances are I might have a $0 day, what I'll do is I will set a mental goal, and my mental goal will be to list 6 to 10 items that day instead. So not only does that take my focus off of having the $0 day, it puts my mind in a better space because I'm being productive and I'm not focusing so much on, what's considered kind of a crappy business day. But it also encourages buyers to come to my closet. So something that I've come to realize is that the higher frequency of items that I get listed, the more unsolicited followers follow my closet. And I think that's a really cool trend. So on those days, I like to double my expectation for myself, double the listings I would normally put up if I can, if I have the inventory to do that. Usually I have a small death pile of like 10 to 15 items just chilling over there behind that light right there. And I will just pull from that when I can, and I'm getting as many listings out as I want to. All right, so with that being said, I'm just going to recap quick my 3 pieces of advice for if you're having a lot of $0 days and you don't really know what to do with that. So the first thing, again, is to encourage repeat buyers by communicating frequently, sourcing with them in mind. The second thing is to keep your cost of goods low. If you know that there's somewhere locally where you can go to get cheaper items and cheaper inventory than elsewhere, focus your sourcing in those areas and in those spots. And then third, list 2 times the normal amount that you would on your $0 days so that you have more listings for your buyers to choose from, and you take your focus off of the negativity and you're focusing on positivity and production instead. And then finally, because I'm all about transparency and I do want to leave you with a little bit of encouragement here, with my September and October reports, like I was mentioning earlier, in September I had 10 $0 days. That's almost a week and a half that I didn't make any sort of sale on Poshmark. I still hit over $1,200 for the month. That is completely possible. For this month, the month's not over yet, but looking at my numbers right here, I have 7 $0 days, and today I just surpassed $1,000 for the month. So it is completely possible to make a profit during your months where you're not seeing the sales daily, but they are accumulating over time because you do get those bigger sales, or you do get days where you get 4 or 5 sales in a row. With that being said, guys, I am going to be focusing on putting out a September and October combined report for my high profit sales. So that will be coming out in about a week. And if you liked the video today, and if you're looking forward to my high profit report for September and October combined, there will be a ton of items that sold for over $30. Please stay tuned. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. I really appreciate that. And thank you guys for stopping by today. I had such a good time chatting with you about what to do about $0 days and kind of how to get out of that funk. And until next time, stay styling. I know you will. I'll see you later.